Um, so you went to Composite High School, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So, do you remember your last high school game?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Did you win or lose?
I lost.
The playoffs
Yeah,
or
playoffs. Yeah, it was a tough one, man. That
it was
was
a tough one.
very, very tough one. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So, talk to me about that journey from comp, because I know you've been a few places. So, talk to me from your last game at comp until where you are now, point guard, starting point guard at Keanu. What's the fill in the gaps for everybody?
Yeah, so I played my last game. We lost actually in provincials. I forget what game, maybe the bronze medal game. We actually lost like it's a crazy game. I remember we were up by like 20 and we ended up losing it by like a last minute lost in the last minute. Like just like
That hurts. That hurts,
devastating.
bro.
Last game, like I was shook, man. It was such a tough loss. Still to this day, probably one of the toughest losses I've ever had. 100.
Okay, stop right there. You said you were shook. What? You were scared?
No. I was shook like when I lost, like because
Okay,
we were up at like 20 at half, and then like it was we I think how it was like a big tournament, and if you win that game, you play another one,
got you,
but if you lose, you're done. So
got
like
you.
we were up by 20. I was like, yeah, I'm playing another game tomorrow. It's not my last game, and then boom, like we lost, and I was like, wow, like done high school ball, you know what I mean? So it was kind of crazy like that, but yeah, that game was tough. And then after that, I signed with Olds College, which is like Southern Alberta, and that's your boy Ben Julius.
Hey, shout out to Julius, man. He was at St. Lawrence with me. We were both bench warmers. I mean, I don't care what he told you. We were both we were both bench warmers. But shout out to Julius, the boy can coach his butt off, man.
Yeah. All the Julius guys can
You're
coach.
right,
All I think
right.
there's three of them that all coach. It was
Yeah.
brother and his dad also coaches. So yeah, I know Ben brought me down there, and I played behind like probably one of the best players I ever played against. He's my boy Phil Jalalpur.
Okay.
He's playing uh first league Germany right now, like very very Euro League Euro Cup over in Germany right now, and I played behind him my first year, um, which was like crazy experience because he's really really good. So I learned a lot there, and then after that, I I ended up coming back and playing at Keanu. Um,
Okay.
Ben had some issues. Ben Julius had some issues, and there was just some
Mm,
stuff going on. So
fair enough.
I ended up coming back, and yeah, that was good. Like our team was very very good. We had like I think three guys that played pro after that. Like
What? Okay. So what year do you come back to Keanu? What year is this?
my second year.
So what? 2017, 18?
No. I played my first year was 2014, 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
2015, 2016, I was like, yeah, no.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah, and then uh yeah, we played there. That was a good season. We went to nationals. We actually hosted
Mm,
nationals that year.
mm.
Um yeah, and I I had a pretty good season. We had like a really deep team. Like we went like 10, 11 people deep. So I ended up having a really good national run, and I played really well in that tournament and got a couple of looks for U Sports. Um, yeah, and after that, that's when I signed with Memorial University. I got a couple of looks, and my athletic director at Keanu, he uh, he went to Memorial, so he was kind of pushing me to go there. So yeah, I went there, and that's a Memorial University is out in Newfoundland. For anyone who doesn't know that, that's
Right.
like far east coast, which is like completely different than anything I'd ever known because I'm from Alberta, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
uh,
Shout out to Carl English, because
that
other
guy.
than, you know what I mean, he could hoop, and like before him, I didn't think anyone from Newfoundland hooped. You know what I mean? I didn't know anyone from Newfoundland like coming up in Toronto. So, or I knew a few people, but not too many. But I didn't know they hooped. I thought it was just a hockey town. But
Mhm.
he shout out to Carl English, and Memorial is actually known to have a good ball team.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, we were good. Like I was unfortunate because I got injured. Like I strained. I had like a really severe groin strain. Uh, before the season even started. Like I think in September. Like I was there for like a month. I was there for August,
Mm.
and so I was out. I missed the first preseason tournament, and then yeah, like it was a good year. I learned a lot, and it was one of those things I just didn't see eye to eye with the coach. That was me and him had some differences. He made some decisions that I just didn't like, and I ended up leaving that program. Um,
After your first year there.
after my first year there, yeah, yeah, it was tough. Like I don't know, I haven't really. I don't want to speak bad on anyone, so but
No.
it was just some stuff that happened that I couldn't really stand by. And I know after that year, I think like six guys like all kind of like left the team just because there was just too
Mm.
much stuff going on. So yeah, I was unfortunate because I really did enjoy like St. John's is like such a
Mm.
cool place, like especially for
Mm.
basketball. Like we had great crowds.
Crazy.
Like, all the guys there were like really good. The people there were amazing.
Yeah, some
Um,
good people. Some good people in Newfoundland. Yo.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not from Newfoundland. Like my family's not from Newfoundland. So they took me in, and it was great. But yeah, so after that year, I ended up taking a couple years off of basketball.
Okay. Okay.
I
Why
moved.
though?
A couple of reasons. Like first one, like after that year, like I don't know. It was just like with that whole thing with the coach. Like I wasn't
Mm.
maybe I wasn't like in the right headspace, and
Right.
so I was kind of like I just needed to like take a step back and like kind of refocus. And at the same time, if I was going to transfer, you need to take City Euro as well, anyways, to transfer.
Got you.
So I moved to Calgary. I lived in Calgary for a bit and just trained, worked and trained, and um, yeah, after a year, like I felt like my body was like good, and like I
Mm.
said, I was injured that year, so I wanted to get my body right again. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, and after that, picked up a few other offers. I just reached out to some schools, and some Canada West schools, and then some East Coast schools. And um, my boy from Vancouver actually was going to Cape Breton University in the AUS, and he was like, "Yo, you should come with me. Like, it'll be a good time. Like, it's kind of similar to Fort McMurray. Just it's a small place where you just work." So I went out there, and yeah, I was there for about a month. And yeah, my mama just was a little sick and stuff. Um,
Got you. Got you.
so I had to leave, and I left and came back here to Fort Mac. And yeah, the same thing. I was just like, it had been basically 2 years since I'd played, and I was just like, man, like, I was tired of like, yeah, unfortunate situations. Obviously you can't do anything about my mom being sick or whatever, but so I was here in Fort McMurray, just like kind of working out, and like my brother plays ball, and I was just staying in shape, but like I wasn't really. Some of the schools that I had talked to before I went to Cape Breton had reached out, um, but I just was like, I don't know if I want to go anywhere far. And
Mm.
then like Jeremy at Keanu and Joe, Joe, like the French guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Uh,
Jeremy's the coach for people who don't
Jeremy's
know.
Jeremy's the coach. Keanu, yeah, yeah. So they were just kind of pushing me to come stay, to stay, to stay. We're going to go on a national run, and I was super hesitant just because I just didn't know if I wanted to go back. And yeah, I ended up ultimately like it was best for my family if I stayed and I could help and um, be around my family and be around my mom more. And that's why I ended up making that decision to stay. And after that, Jeremy brought me on, and the rest is history. That's how.
Hard times always bring out the best in me. My brother's next to me.